Sponsored by HelloFresh. New year, new you. And a new you can start with better eating goals and habits. That starts right at home. HelloFresh makes it easy to plan out meals and prepare food at home with over 50 dinner options and more market items that suit any lifestyle. Easy to make meals that don't take an hour, and you can have all the variety you want shipped right to your door. Don't waste time at the grocery store or overpay for takeout and fast food delivery. Get one free breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. Stop going to work and school hungry. HelloFresh can take care of that also. Click the link in the description or use my code and get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the United States. Outside the US, the local discount will apply. Support Rocked and set up your year with eating goals and taking care of yourself and family with HelloFresh. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast that rocked, a weekly podcast that talks about news, world, and the rock of metal alternative. I messed that up already. Whatever. It's the end of the year. I don't care. It's the end of 2024. We survived. Thank you so much for joining for the last podcast of the year. My name is Luke.
My name is Alex.
And my name is Rowan.
I guess I should give a good read. Welcome to the podcast that rocks, weekly podcast that talks about news in the world of rock, metal, alternative, and everything in between. There. I nailed it.
Much better.
Good.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much for everyone in chat. If 50 likes on the YouTube chat, and we'll do a round of Festival Rock or Flop. We already have 2 super chats. Thank you to Ellie Yeats, who could not be here. However, if we get 3 more super chats, or if someone does a $10 super chat, you can get your own random festival. Lots of stuff in the notes. Please check that out. Thank you so much for hitting us up on our Best and Worst of 2024 podcast. This is a much more laid-back podcast than normal, much less structure, much more feeding off the nonsense from the chat, much more just talking about what we loved and hated, what we enjoyed, what we loved to see, surprised us, disappointed us, all of that in the past year of 2024, the year of what was that? Is that an appropriate description for what happened this past year with everything? I feel like that's right.
Fair.
So, that being said, I think we went through all the bullet points. Hopefully everyone else in chat is okay. Before we get started, Alex, Rowan, thank you all so much for being here and helping to turn the podcast around and help to rebrand it. I would like to point out that was a highlight for me to have something to actually look forward to and rebuild the podcast with and grow into something different. I mean that sincerely, and so does Ivan, who is passed out on the floor.
Love that baby.
Yeah. Also, for everyone in the chat, tomorrow is Ivan's birthday. He is a New Year's baby, so he will be barking with the fireworks. That's the celebration. That's when we know it's Ivan's birthday, right at midnight, because they have fireworks that scare him.
So that's why we go so big on January 1st.
Yes,
well,
for Ivan.
We got to celebrate Ivan.
Yeah, the whole country.
Mm-hmm. What else are we going to celebrate? The rest of the country? Please.
It's all about Ivan.
Yeah. Someone just said, Chad, I'm just here for the good boys. Well, there you go. So, perfect timing. Also, thank you to my lovely wife, who just said, howdy do, buckaroos. Yes, that is an appropriate reaction from my lovely wife, who is in the other room. So
when real quick. So when the ball drops and you do like the countdown, do you go 3, 2, 1, happy birthday, Ivan?
Last year we did sing happy birthday right at midnight. Yes.
Good man.
He is a good dog. He deserves it. So, also, thank you, Paul, for the super chat. I'm just going to read it right now because this is much more laid back one. I might see Deftones in April. I hope you do. Ooh. And I'm hoping to see that tour also because it looks amazing.
That'll be super rad.
Are we going to get new? Let's just jump right into it. Like, we could talk about what we're looking forward to in 2025 right now as well. However, Deftones were quiet, and we knew they were working on new stuff. They said already, like, they were in the studio. I predict 2025 is going to have new Deftones because they already have tour announcements. They're going to Canada with System of a Down. They have their own tour. I think we're getting a new Deftones album.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Which is, good. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's, if we're just talking about like what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that also.
There's so much to look forward to next year. There's like so many bands who like are already confirmed to have new music in 2025, and a lot of bands who are speculated to have new music next year. And I'm for all of it.
Yeah, I am too. I'm thankful that we have so much to look forward to in 2025. Let's swing back to 2024 just for the moment. So I told Alex and Rowan to give them a little bit of homework. Just think of a couple of your favorite albums, your favorite songs of the year. So I posted some of my stuff already on the channel, so I want to give Alex and Rowan some time. Alex, you go first. What were some of your favorite albums of 2024?
We've talked about them multiple times, but I can't stop talking about them. Poppy, that album, I think 2024 was the year of Poppy. We've said it multiple times. A lot of people have the same feelings on this, but Poppy really, really had a solid 2024. That album is definitely one of my top albums of the year. Negative Spaces.
It made my top 10, so yeah.
Yeah, no, excellent call on your part. That is a fantastic album. So that one's definitely up there for me.
Okay.
And then From Zero from Linkin Park also caught me by surprise. It's a really good album.
Yeah. I'll say this. I didn't love From Zero, but at the same time, there was not 1 second of it that made me go, ugh, you know?
Yeah.
Which is big for me because I was looking from a different viewpoint. Also, Linkin Park dominated all of rock. Like, let's not...
easily.
Let's call it like it is. We talked about this was the year of Poppy, 100% agree. Comeback of the year, Linkin Park, and it wasn't even close. And this is coming from someone who loved The Cure's album. First one in 16 years. That was my number one. Even I would say, no, this was the comeback of the year was for Linkin Park by sales, numbers. Every single song on that album was charting at one point.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, and just the hype they did behind it. I did not think that I would be all hyped up to, look for new music from Linkin Park in 2024. I didn't see that coming for me at all. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend that that's going to be like one of my top favorite albums of all time. But as far as 2024 goes, that was a great album that dropped this year.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Same. And honestly, if I could just say real quick too, like, even though I'm not the biggest Linkin Park fan, and I just thought From Zero was just like a good album, I have a lot of friends who are just really, really into Linkin Park and just kind of like see them just have like so much joy as like their favorite band came back with the new album, the new, like even the singles from like the beginning of the year from Paper Cut. Like, it just feels good just seeing like my friends just enjoy having their favorite band back. So I can love it for that too.
It's a rarity too. Like, that was not a long progress. We were all taken away by that countdown clock. Everyone losing their mind. We had at least 3 weeks of content to start off every podcast. Okay, what's next for Linkin Park? And then we got more hype and more anti-hype, and then controversy, and then, oh man, it was just so much. But like, let's call it like it is. Linkin Park dominated rock for 2024, whether the music or everything outside the music. So...
No, I'm just saying, like, when the album did finally drop, my friends, like, we had, like all night the album dropped. We just talked about it, like, for hours, until, like, 3 a.m. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that you just love from this community.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and I agree with Rowan on that, too, because, like, all of the fans were so, like, what's going on? What's coming up? What's happening here? And the marketing, we've talked about it before, but dang, they did such a good job building that hype and then dropping a good album,
I will say this also, and I mean this, the way they did that presentation for Linkin Park Underground, like the private concert, and like live streamed it, and there was no issues, and they debuted with a new song, they did that right, too. There was a lot of things they did right. So that's as complimentary as I can be on the situation. I don't feel like going into all the nitty-gritty other stuff that we've already discussed many, many times.
Yes.
My favorite part of all of that is that, like, during the countdown sort of part of the story, one of my friends who is a big Linkin Park fan, I worked with him at the same company, and our desks were like right next to each other. When the timer first went down and then started going back up, I could hear him like silently screaming or something like that, if that makes sense.
If I'm correct, I was at the airport, and I think it was either Alex or you, like, were letting me know, yeah, people are losing it. So
yeah. No, yeah,
I
but
and waited.
Yeah, see, that's
so mad.
That sucks.
I see his eyes bulge out, and he is just like, and I'm just trying not to laugh.
See, I wasn't sitting there waiting as like a fan because I can't lie to you, and you guys already know this. I wasn't looking forward to it as like a fan. I was looking forward to it as like, what the hell are they cooking up here? And then I was like, seriously, I waited for that.
Yeah, that was the biggest gotcha of the year, unfortunately. So take that for what it's worth. So another super chat from Paul Urena wanting to know, how good will Slipknot's new album be? I'm assuming that'll be Look Outside Your Window, the new old album. I hope it's good. We've heard a lot of different hype about it. We talked about it last week, too. I hope it's fun, and it's with the label now, like it's finished. So let's hope we only have to wait like a month as opposed to 10 months. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
It's not like a thing where it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna come next year, but it's like the end of the year or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it is out of the band's hands, then you know what? You can't fault Slipknot anymore for it then, So we shall see. I'm hopeful. And also a request to check out bands debuting this upcoming year. Yeah, I'll do that with album reviews. We'll talk about good stuff. Yeah, we'll make sure to cover all the new stuff. Don't you worry about that. Thank you for the super chats. Very much appreciated. I don't know how many likes we're at yet, but we're getting up there already. So thank you guys for hitting the like button. If you hit the like button, I'll go pet Ivan. Every like gets one good boy pet. So there'll be a lot of good boy pets so far. Oh, we're at 33? Okay, we're getting there. Please hit the like button, everybody. So, Rowan, how about you? What were one or two of your favorite albums of 2024?
You know what? Alex already said Poppy's album was awesome. Love that too. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Besides From Zero and I'm gonna go with Bring the Horizons Post-Human. Honestly,
Next Gen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dude,
like that.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. This is yours. So.
No, yeah, this album was just like, I've just been a big fan of like Bring Me the Horizon since like there's a hell, there's a heaven. I love the metalcore era. I even when they started going more mainstream with in the 2010s, I was still into it. And I don't know, this feels like a culmination of everything. It's like there's like a good balance of like genty metalcore and then like kind of like the more techno stuff.
Oh yeah, and there was a lot of different moving parts and wildly different sounds. Like there was Utopia, which was like 90s alternative. So much stuff together, but it all worked. Like it all did project together, so it worked fine. So
that initial riff with Utopia, it goes, it hits you like a truck, man. And dude, what other band can you say like sampled Sans from Undertale and made it work?
It's true.
Yeah. Dude, it's just like, oh my god, I love that album so much. By the way, if I could just say one thing too about Bring Me the Horizon, we always talk about like people like Wes Borland or Mark Tremonti being underrated guitarists. Lee Malia does not get enough credit.
Yes.
That guy is awesome.
He is. He definitely is underrated. I mean, maybe it's because he's behind another personality, like an Ollie Sykes, even with Jordan Fish when he was still with the band, But yeah, I agree. There's a lot of underrated talent in general in Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah, no, seriously. There's your trinity. Wes Borland, Mark Tremonti, Lee Malia.
Mm-hmm. So, very good choices all around. You all get A's. Well done. Any other albums in the chat you guys want us to point out really quick before we move on? Let me know. Bands debut 2024 like the Victorious Dead. Have not, super chat from Paul. Thank you very much, Paul. Have not heard of Victorious Dead. Have either of you?
No.
Okay, we will check something out for sure. I'm not against any suggestions. That's how I find music too. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that came out this year. I posted my video on top 10 favorite albums last week. My number one was The Cure by a long shot. And maybe not by a long shot, but it was just so great. Another one, which was definitely the big surprise, this is like the one that made all the metal lists, was Blood Incantation's Absolute Elsewhere. If you've ever imagined like a Star Wars or Star Trek, the space fights, put that to a metal album, and that's what you got. It's nice. So fun. So
is it like Starset where they try to make it like super theatrical?
It's more prog. It's more prog, less theatrical, but at the same time, it's also death metal in parts too. It's that good. Like if you Google the Blood Incantation Absolute Elsewhere, you'll see how many like spots it has like number 1 or number 2 on so many lists. It's that impressive. It came out a few months back. I was blown away. I can't recommend it enough. It's so much fun. It's haunting. It makes space sound terrifying and insane. It's just so cool how much they do with it. Guitar work is unreal as well. So
okay.
Big, nice. Great stuff. I'm seeing some good recommendations now. Chat Pile's Cool World. Chat Pile is a hard band to describe, and I explained that in my upcoming video. I definitely agree, though. A lot of fun. That is like the scary underground noise rock type stuff that if your mom knew you were going there, she'd think you were on the darkest type of drugs and think you're in all this type of debauchery. That type of stuff.
Blake Gunnell just said, I describe Blood Incantation as the Pink Floyd of death metal.
Honestly, this latest album, yes, and it's awesome. Okay, but yeah, add death growls instead of Roger Waters rewriting his own music. Then you have that. So, Yeah, don't have to worry about that either. Yeah, I want it on vinyl. Hopefully, eventually I'll get it. But man, it's so good. It's great reading music too. Like if you play that while you're listening to, like reading like a science fiction book or science fantasy, it really elevates that as well. So there you go. That's my nerd out moment for the week. Thank you very much. Kitty's Into the Fire was great. Another Kitty reference. Good salt. That was another comeback for the year too, because it's been how long since Kitty released an album? I'm in the music.
That was a great comeback.
I'm in the music video for that one of those songs too, by the way, because they recorded it at Sick New World, which was fun.
That was so cool to see.
It was fun. Job for a Cowboy's Moon Healer. That was on my list as well. Bonkers. Knocked Loose also it's gonna get a lot of love. Knocked Loose. You won't go before you're supposed to. A lot of people have that on their list. This was a big year for Knocked Loose, and there's no way to deny it.
Oh, it was a great year for them. Another one that I want to mention as well, Keep Me Fed by The Warning. Great album.
I just saw them live for the first time at Riot Fest. So good live. I was blown away. They
are so good.
Those three Mexican sisters have more talent and personality than most bands put together. So
absolutely.
Also, it's kind of sad because what are they, like 21, 19, and 17? Like they're still super young or something like that. So
still older than like baby metal though. Like
yeah, but like they're playing the instruments while they're doing it too, though.
Fair.
So yeah, I'll give them that. Then again, what do I know? I mean, I would not mind seeing The Warning / baby metal collaboration between Mexico and Japan, because that could actually work really well now that I think about it. So
honestly, that would be a cool collaboration. I want to see it.
Should have gone into marketing and branding. Should have.
What are we thinking?
Can I also just give some love to 7 Hours After Violet and their debut album. Chavo's band just killed it. Radiant. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, Chavo's going to have his work cut out for him, but I hope he keeps pushing with his stuff no matter what System of a Down does next year.
I'm just saying, Radiant's top 5 song for me this year.
Very cool.
Yeah, definitely. That made my top 10 too.
Very nice. Paul Arena for the super chat. And Strife, the Red Mask Ritual, Forever Mortal. I'm assuming some of his favorites, so good suggestions. Thank you very much for those.
Being generous today. Thank you, man.
High on Fire's Come at the Storm. I'm a big High on Fire fan. That was a lot of fun too. High on Fire is for those who are not aware, that's the American Motorhead. And it's always going to be solid. It's always going to be fun. And yeah, the Bandmade Warning collaboration was fire. Bandmade, that's another one that had one come out this year too. So I'm seeing a lot of good suggestions. Very nice.
Absolutely.
So wait, people are also saying live, Ronnie Radke is being trolled on Instagram. But what else is new? The sky's blue, you know? Well, if this is the best and worst of 2024, we'll talk briefly about the Ronnie Radke situation right now as it stands. He's still not allowed in the UK. Tour dates have not been remade. He has a platinum album that came out this year, and he still has more cancellations coming up, and he's still expected to be at Warped Tour at least one of the dates.
Fun fact: when you told us about what we would just be generally discussing, I kind of just was just kind of going through Google Docs and just writing down I seriously thinking about oh, what would I rank stuff.
Yeah.
And when I got to least favorite moments, I literally just have as a bullet point Ronnie Radke just being a douche.
I can't argue it. I mean, can anyone say that's not the appropriate response when he went on Kick and started yelling at his own fans while he was trying to gamble because he was upset they were complaining about him canceling shows for no reason? Ugh.
Or he cancels a show because the stage is too small, but it's actually a pretty good stage.
Yeah.
And it was hours before the show, and anyone who traveled to go to the show was just screwed. Yeah.
And they would have had to have known if those venues were not brand spanking new and no one had been to them before. So they had to have
a picture online.
Logistics can be emailed somehow. I'm willing to bet. So something's up about.
You have to do advances when you book shows.
Yeah, there's so much more that's not being told. And when it came to the European shows, not just the UK ones, because we know why those were canceled. The other ones, throughout Europe, there was at least 4 or 5. They didn't give a reason. How would you not be furious about that? How would you not be disappointed? Yeah.
Look, I'm not necessarily gonna knock anyone if they do Fallen Reverse, but it's one of those things where I have to ask, what's the appeal? Genuinely.
Fair. And that's not an unfair question too. So
Yeah.
here's hoping that someone grows up a little next year and takes a little accountability. I think that's a fair request. New Year's resolution, accountability. Does that sound fair?
It's a good one.
That sounds fair and very nicely said. I could have made that a lot meaner sounding.
They just have to take him off social media. Whoever is in charge of like PR, like just
good luck. It might be to the point now where he has 2 cell phones, so he's just constantly engaging left and right. He's to that level. He gets really bad about it. So
imagine he has a sock puppet account to pretend to be a hater. So when he like answers to like hate on like his TikTok, it's like some sort of like 3D chess type.
Well, it's bad enough that he already has several accounts because the other ones keep getting deleted. So why wouldn't he have a sock puppet account? And then he's like patting himself on the back from the fake accounts. Yeah, you tell him, Ronnie. But it's also just him replying to his own comments.
Tell me he wouldn't do that. Look me in the eye and tell me he wouldn't do that.
That's worse. Yeah. Someone said pigs will fly first. Yeah, you're not getting him off social media. I just cannot see that. So
yeah, no, maybe I'll go to heaven and punch God. Yeah.
He belongs with the kick crowd. Boy, that's a statement. So we move on. We don't want to talk only about Ronnie Radke with our precious time for this podcast. We'll talk about some good stuff now. Good list. Let's talk about a good list. Good individual songs. Any songs that were definitely at the top of your list. Alex?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
No, let's let Rowan go.
Rowan seems really excited.
I thought that was just like an open question for any of us.
Alex, he just cut right in front of you in line for the water fountain.
I didn't know there was a line.
Back kicks. Get back, it's mine.
No.
Alex can go first. I don't mind. I am sorry.
All right.
No problem.
Okay. Alex, just going alphabetical. There, it's fair.
Yes, I win every time.
1 or 2 songs that you loved this year. Top of your playlist you couldn't get enough of.
All right, I've got 3 that I want to mention, okay?
Okay.
Band, Violence Against Nature, Bad Omens Poppy. I played that probably the most all year. It might have something to do with the fact that it dropped in January.
Sure.
But, you know.
But if
still,
it's good,
it was one of my top favorite tracks that dropped all year for sure. Tokyo by Starbenders. That one was a fun one as well.
Okay.
I love Starbenders. I love that song. It kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm glad it did because their last album dropped in last year, 2023. I love that entire album from front to back. So having a surprise single drop in 2024 was just a little cherry on top for me. But Tokyo by Starbenders, hell yeah. And then I also want to mention a song called Waste from Unpeople.
Okay.
If you are not familiar with Unpeople, they are super good. And they have an EP. It's Unpeople. I recommend checking it out for sure.
Very nice. Rowan, 1 or 2 or even 3 songs that you could not get enough of in 2024.
Okay, first of all, this is definitely my song of the year.
Okay.
Slaughter to Prevail's Bail It.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you just a little like personal fact. I like to be like physically active like every day, like go to the gym or go on like hikes or something like that, or just like do some sort of physical activity. And whenever I do, Slaughter to Prevail is like always like my go-to band just to like pump me up. And there has not been like a time I'm at the gym and I don't play Bail It. Because that is just like, it's so like epic. And I'm a Berserk fan too, so I can appreciate that as well. Sorry, I just love that song. I legit can't get enough of it. And then if we're just going on like just some other ones, off of Negative Spaces, I'm going to go with Surviving on Defiance too.
Nice.
Alex, if you know that track. Me, that song, that's like Poppy channeling her Chino Moreno in terms of like vocal delivery, you know?
Nice way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, I'm just going to go with Spirit Box's Soft Spine because I love Spirit Box. It's awesome that we got some new music this year from them and we got a new album coming out next year. If the whole album, if that is just a taste of Tsunami Sea, I'm going to tell you right now that is probably like my most anticipated album next year.
Very cool. I also, this is the fun part where I get to say the video I'm working on that I'm editing, I'll hopefully have early access tomorrow, is 10 Great Metal Songs of 2024. Both of these 2 listed songs that are on the list. So that way I can actually say, I agree with you, and I did it before you told me, so you can't just say I'm doing it just to make people happy. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm going to go with no duplicates on this one. I'm going to go with one came out very recently, but I love Spirit World. Western Stars in the Apocalypse is short, under 2.5 minutes. The distinction of this and how much of a blast of heavy metal and just like the raspy voice of Stu, this is one of the rare loopable tracks. You put that on a single loop and it just plays perfectly. It's this endless drive that if you actually play this in the car, you're going to end up going 120 miles per hour and you're going to get in trouble because it's so good though. So that's a huge one for me. And then what has undoubtedly popped up every time I hear it on shuffle or just played on random on Tidal, and I always put a smile on my face, undoubtedly what is my camera doing? It's like the camera even was like, we got to get in close on this. And it just started zooming away from me. You know what? Fine. I'll keep it like there, camera. It was doing for dramatic effect. Yes.
I liked it.
I know, right? Okay. Let's cut in close. Like, you're going away from my face, though. What do you mean going in close? All right. By far and away, the song that always put a smile on my face, by far, the heaviest song of 2024, Rat-a-Tata, Baby Metal, and Electric Callboy.
That is a great one.
It's, guys,
right.
I don't care what anyone says. That is the epitome of a fun song. How can you listen to that and, I don't care how much of a loser take everything funeral serious metal fan you are. If you hear that, you have to know people are going to enjoy it. It's just fun to listen to. It's okay to have fun with metal and music. It's all right, I promise. So,
yeah.
And a final one.
That track.
Kind of like Spirit Box has like a little highlight. We have all this bands like highlighting stuff. Whitechapel has their new album coming out, and A Visceral Wretch is so great. I love what Whitechapel has evolved and become with deathcore, but then now incorporating a little bit. The singer keeps growing with it with Phil Bozeman. So good. Love that too. So those are 3 unique ones across the board that I think are really great. So some of my favorites. We're going to go to chat. If you have some of your favorite songs, drop them in chat right now. I see a lot of love for Rat-a-Tata, which is definitely appreciated, so thank you very much. Suffocate's getting a lot of love. I knew that was going to get love no matter what. I see a Bloodywood New Delhi reference. Bloodywood, I hope, gets more love and attention in the States. That's the band from India. They have a new metal vibe to them. They're fun. Hang tight. Alex and Rowan, can you count? Alex, count to 3.
1, 2, 3.
Rowan, 1, 2, 3. Rowan, we cannot hear you.
Rowan, you're muted.
Rowan, you are muted.
Oh my god.
No, I was going to say, I had no idea what was going on, but I just saw nothing. I'm like, wait a second.
Okay. No, I see what happened. So what you can see, someone mentioned Bloodywood. I was like, oh yeah, Bloodywood, but I didn't want the typing of my keyboard to show up myself when I do that, and I just forgot to unmute myself. Sorry about that.
Gosh, no, it's okay. I'm just making sure we got it covered all right, so that's good.
No, you're fine. That's on me.
We are going to talk about this, and this is a good way to jump into the next topic. So, by far and away, what is arguably the most noteworthy metal song, besides even Knock Loose Suffocate, which led to the biggest metal moments of the year and probably the last 5 years, which would be Gojira's Mea Culpa. There is no argument. There's nothing else really comes close for a metal moment. Nothing.
This was really a year when metal got surprisingly deep in mainstream media.
It did, and for good reasons. For good reasons.
No, yeah, we had Gojira at the Olympics. We had Knocked Loose and Poppy on Jimmy Fallon. Again, great year for Poppy. Yeah, seriously, she had the show too, which is my God, lady, do you sleep?
Honestly, yeah. We knew she was a workhorse anyway, but her own album, which is her best in my opinion, and then she had all the collaborations, the improv show, she did touring special events. She's a workhorse, but you know what? It's all paid off.
Yeah.
So, as we go back to Gojira, does that mean we should have a Gojira and Poppy collaboration?
Ooh, I like that idea.
Just completely obliterate 2025 and combine the best of both worlds. Both Gojira and Poppy are nominated for Grammys, respectively. So they're going to be both.
The world could handle all of that.
I know, but still, they're going to be both in LA at the same time anyway, right? Why not have them meet back and record something? They're already there.
I like this.
It can't be that hard. Thank you, Old World Patriot. We'll have a festival just for you. I know it's $10 a plus, and you gave $9.99. You know what? That's fine. I'm anyone. Yeah. So Old World Fest. I don't know if we want to do Patriot Fest. Yeah. So we'll do Old World Fest after. Thank you so much. We'll have some festivals to do after.
We get Ted Nugent and Kid Rock on that.
It's funny, but we already have Boardwalk Fest, which also is going to happen. That's Patriot Fest, folks. Sorry.
Are we into the worst of 2024? Is that what's happening now? Huh?
We're going back and forth. Boy, we didn't even have enough time to really celebrate Gojira, and we went to Boardwalk Fest in 2025. Womp. Yeah. Oh, man. So, metal moments, Olympics, Jimmy Kimmel, making the Puritans uncomfortable. The Puritans! Someone called them the Puritans. I just love the idea of the old 1700 Thanksgiving pilgrims sitting on a couch watching the future and being horrified at what's on television between Knocked Loose and Poppy.
Remember, like, on Kimmel when that happened, and then people were like, oh my god, yes. It's so satanic!
I know, and it was not
my
just...
My child cried!
Well, that one was isolated, but the complaints were not isolated incidents, and that's what's wild to me.
I know, yeah. It's just still funny that in 2024, we still have, like, the pearl-clutching, like, suburban moms who are terrified of anything with, like, distorted guitars.
And I stand by my logic of, it's Jimmy Kimmel. He's crude and raunchy all the time. Why were you watching that if you knew he was going to be on that show anyway? So, whatever.
But wait, he's had metal bands on his show before. He had Rammstein on his show, and that show was freaking spectacular.
Yeah, so...
No one said anything about, like, when that happened.
Mm-hmm. Also, good song. Hosting the Shadow by Lacuna Coil with Randy Blythe was a good song. They got a new album coming out in February, Lacuna Coil, which is very nice. Happy New Year, guys, from Machine Gun Philly. Thank you very much, Philly. We'll get you a festival, too. This is the end of the year. We'll have some very fast festivals to deliver at the end of the podcast, but we're very thankful for that. So, lots of good stuff that happened. I want to talk about not so much the worst things that happened this past year, but definitely surprises, notable events. I say this was... one of the biggest ones, and we'll go into the waters gently a little bit. We won't be freaking people out just yet with all the deep stuff. But one of the things that got announced this year, so we can talk about it, it's coming next year, the return of Oasis. I don't think anyone saw that coming at all. If anyone saw that headline, like when you see Oasis in the headlines for the last 10 years, it's usually because the brothers are hating on each other, or there was a fist fight again, or they're slamming each other, going to sue each other, whatever. Well, they've sold out every single show. They're coming to the U.S. as well. They're going to sell out several nights at Wembley Stadium. That's a big deal.
Yeah. The fact that it's at Wembley, if you know if anyone knows the history of this band, that's a big deal.
Do we know, if chat knows, that's fine. Do we know who's opening for Oasis?
Did they ever say they have an opener?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I just know, just think about how big of a deal that would be. Yeah, we opened for Oasis at Wembley. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Who would be like who would be a good choice? I'm trying to think of stylistically.
Who is opening for Oasis at Wembley? Richard Ashcroft, the former lead singer of The Verve, who also appeared at the UK and Ireland shows, so solo act. That's all I see so far.
I see indie rock band Cast.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with that either. Boy, is that a gig! Huh. Mm-hmm. Pretty good get. Very nice.
Yeah.
Cage the Elephant has been announced for one of the North American legs of the tour.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, honestly, that does kind of fit. And Cage the Elephant had a good year also. They had a new album come out. Whether you're a fan or not, that's a big name. Let's be honest. So it does kind of fit as well. It'll be interesting to see who else is going to be coming with all of that, but I am happy about it. So we already know there's so many other tours coming in 2025 as well. Big, fatty ones. I mean, My Chemical Romance announced we're coming back next year, even though the announcement is made this year. Big stadium tours. I mean, filling out the football stadiums, the baseball stadiums, and having a different support act. Is it every night? I believe it's every single night. It's a different support.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome. There's a lot of good stuff.
And then you got Sleep Token, sorry.
No, sorry, I was still on the My Chemical Romance thing, so I was thinking about it. Like,
No,
huge names, like Evanescence on one stop, Garbage on another stop. That's gonna be a rad tour.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke like, "Ooh, I just saw Garbage canceled." I would not be able to get away with that. So
Well, don't even jinx
I know
Garbage
better.
because next year is 30 years of their debut album, and I'm holding out hope that something big is happening for it. I am so excited.
probably, yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
their 30th anniversary
I
of
agree
their
with
debut
you.
album.
I agree.
Yeah, you got to do something.
They will. I mean, they're
then-
yeah. Go ahead, Ron.
And then in terms of festivals, we got Sleep Token like headlining Download. It's just like we talked about it before in the podcast, but it's just cool that like now the newer bands are starting to become like more the headliners. And here's the thing: I just love Sleep Token so much that I'm just really happy for them that they're like one of the ones chosen to kind of carry on the torch as like the big name acts.
I'm happy
Yeah.
I'm happy that it's Download that made that decision. It was the right choice at the right location at the right time, proving to all the other festivals, especially in the States, you can do it. You can do it one at a time even, but you can give a younger band the headline spot and things work out. Download's selling pretty well right now. So
And they doubled down when people were like, "Oh, Sleep Token are not, are too recent or something like that, or they're not metal." It's like they just shut down all the elitists.
they did. Download has a history of calling their shot and making it. So, like all the bands they put on the headline spot, Avenged Sevenfold was one of the big ones. I know they did that, and it worked out really well. So, also, it's Green Day, Sleep Token, and Korn, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Speaking of Korn, them and System of a Down. I'm seeing that MetLife show. I am going to lose my mind. God help you, or if you are in the pit with me.
Oh, well. Look out for crowd killing Rowan. Please don't wear the Rocked T-shirt at that if you're going to do it. I don't want to be associated with that at that point. Yikes.
What? That's great publicity. You just like, man arrested for
it's like
hospitalizing 3 people in the mosh pit.
So my hockey team is the St. Louis Blues. They just played the Winter Classic. The famous Ozzy Osbourne mugshot is him wearing a Blues jersey. Yeah, that's not great publicity, but everyone knows the Blues jersey because of Ozzy Osbourne. So, I guess I can't argue that. So,
it would get more people interested in the channel, right?
I guess. Yeah, curiosity, I guess. But I'd rather get it a nicer way. Let's not take it away from System and Korn. So, as we go on to other interesting things of 2024, not so much the best, not so much the worst, but I remember a distinct moment on one of the weeks of the podcast in the summer, end of summer, where I told these two right here that Dave Grohl was going to be a daddy again, but they didn't understand the context. And as of the end of 2024, we're recording this on New Year's Eve, all Foo Fighters canceled show. Everything Foo Fighters for the future, indefinite, is canceled. Tours, festival appearances, done. So, safe to say, things are not perfect in the Dave Grohl camp, but
On paternity leave, got it.
Long paternity leave, but yeah, that was definitely.
I remember when you told me about that because I was like running on no sleep and I had been traveling for days, and so I hadn't heard about it because I hadn't had any internet access. And you were like, "Oh yeah, here's what's going on," and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like that completely was under a radar for me too. So like
it got announced that day of the podcast too. So like there was no time to like find it naturally. It was like, uh-oh. So
yeah, no, I was like, oh, he had a 4th kid. And it's like, oh, it's with a different woman. Oh, that's
yeah. No. Oh, you must be confused. It can't be Dave Grohl then. No, it has to be somebody else. He wouldn't do that.
No, it has to be Dave Grohl, right? His bizarro counterpart.
Yes, his evil twin.
Yeah.
That was such a funny episode. I was sitting in the lobby of just rolled in from the airport in Copenhagen, and I'm sitting in the lobby. It's like 3:00 in the morning, and you guys are telling me this, and everybody in the hotel was like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
That was our most watched episode by far. Like they had the most live people watching. The reason because that was also the week after the Linkin Park live stream where we found out all the Scientology stuff. That was the main story. Then we led into Dave Grohl, baby number 4 with a new mom though. And then do you remember what the third story was of that week?
Oh my god,
that was a wild week.
It was, and it was also not a good thing. I'm going to give you a second.
Oh.
I would play the Jeopardy music if I could, but I don't have it queued up. If anyone in the chat gets it, go ahead and say it. Like, I'll give you credit for that too. It was not a death. It was not a death.
Was that when Jared Leto was...
No, it was not Jared Leto. Good guesses, but no.
Oh, I was sleep deprived. I don't remember.
No, that's fine, and that's totally fair, and I understand why you would have blocked it out. I'm just gonna have to go for it, so we don't eat up too much time. We got the announcement. As of now, it's still planned. Firefest 2 is returning for 2025.
Oh my god!
I remember.
That was the same week.
I haven't heard anything about that. I thought, like, they made the announcement, everyone was like, yeah, this isn't gonna freaking work because it's Firefest.
Oh, people are saying that.
They just quietly canceled it or whatever, because I haven't heard squat.
Apparently, it's still in production. However, tickets are not exactly selling as well as hoped.
Who is funding it? I genuinely want to know. I want to be a fly on the wall in that room.
See, my thing is not even so much who's funding it, who is going to be the companies that want to work with it. Like, what?
Yeah.
Not even bands that want to perform or artists that want to perform. I'm talking about, like, companies, distributors, like, people that are bringing in, and, like, techs and road crew, and, like, cruise lines and air flights and stuff. Who's going to be one associated with this?
Yeah, the people who, like, build it and put it together and everything like that. Like, what's the name of that? Billy,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Oh, I don't
Billy
even remember. Something. Yeah, I could not even tell you. I just know his face when, like, I saw the documentaries. And also,
I know.
To Alex's point, who would really want to go?
Seriously, you Google it to try and see who's playing this Firefest I've heard of. You're going to see all of the crap that went on the first time.
Yes.
Why would you go to that?
Let me just be stranded on an island where I don't speak the language. They literally locked the airport to keep people from leaving. That's true, by the way.
Yes.
Like, oh my god.
And also it says, like when you type in Firefest 2, Billy McFarland is the name. And like God. The original articles are the most popular ones. The Firefest 2 takes place in April. Not a ton of time left to put that together for an international event. And tickets start at $1,400.
I mean, like how the first Firefest was, I wouldn't be surprised if they do this under a huge time crunch, and it shows.
Yeah.
This isn't going to go well. I blocked this out for a reason, Luke.
I get it. I'm just saying that was a long week. That was a really long week.
I remember like watching like the videos of like someone who was like on the school bus that was driving into Firefest. They saw like the crappy tents, and they were audibly yelling.
I didn't even think of it that way. That's brutal. Like you're being like, I just remember all those times in junior high being driven in on a rainy Monday to junior high school, the last place I wanted to be in the world. That type of feeling, except it's terrifying, and you paid for it, a lot of money,
and you can't leave too.
No, you can't. No, people tried to leave and they couldn't.
They locked the airport. Yeah.
But it's fine because they gave them gourmet meals of cheese on bread.
Yes, they did. And they had
a square of cheese on some old-ass bread.
And my favorite thing, too, was like when Billy McFarland just told the group crowd, just find any tent, find whatever. No organization. So people were like, yes. It's like, this is getting worse as it went on. So
things just turned into like Mad Max. Everyone was just like taking everything they could.
Kinda. So lots of other stuff coming for 2025, now that we're end of 2024. There were a lot of big events. We could not cover everything comfortably, naturally. I do want to say this. There were so many great festivals and concerts in 2024 that I hope we don't keep continuing to take advantage of shows. However, I understand that not everyone can go because ticket prices have not calmed down and they're going to get worse.
Yeah.
And that sucks. It really does. With even the good festivals, I love some of the festivals we worked with. Even like we talked about Sick New World. That's probably the best example. Sick New World went from having such a great show in 2024 to way too much ambition, and now it fell flat and canceled. So that's a best and worst with the same name.
Yep.
Again, Sick New World, when you saw that lineup, it's like those like Instagram reels where it's like, oh, you have $100.
Yeah.
Like book a festival. And it's just like they took the two most expensive options, and then they had like maybe like $10 left for everyone else.
Yeah.
I still stand by. Once the budgeting broke down, like got released after that, if they had only picked one, Metallica or Linkin Park, they would have saved $5 billion to save for the back end and do everything else with, and it would have been fine. So
That was Sick New World was one of my highlights of 2024, and I'm super bummed that it went the way it did.
Mine too. It was not a perfect festival, but you know what? There were so many things that went well, and so many bands, and it was so much to take in and see. It sucks that it's not coming back for any time soon. And it's not because it wasn't going to be, the fans said, we can't afford this, and this isn't good enough for us, and no thank you. Yeah, that's not on the fans then. That's because someone really, like, ambition and, what's a good word for this? I don't even really want to say, like, they just said they'll come no matter what because it's too big to ignore. People can't afford this every year after year, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Vegas is not a cheap city either, but go ahead.
No.
Oh, and the thing with the Sick New World was, even though we only had 2 years of it, was it 2? It was only 2 years.
Only
we were heading into our third.
Yeah.
It was one of those festivals that had all of these names thrown onto it, but they did it well. I was always impressed by how well they did it. You would travel to see all of these bands one day, as opposed to maybe going and seeing a bunch of one-off shows. And they did it well.
They did.
They could have just stuck to the model and it would have been successful again.
Yeah. And also, they did it well with 3 stages with the rotating stage. They did that well, too. You could camp at one stage and see nonstop bands, and it worked.
Yeah.
That's a big deal,
was
too.
so smart.
It was, but maybe later in 2025, 2026. That's the hope, because it is the same company as When We Were Young. When We Were Young crammed them in to the point of it being unsafe, but they still made their money. So we shall see. I'm not sure where it goes from here, but I hope more festivals keep building. I hope Riot Fest continues to do their thing. I know these two have not been to Riot Fest. I still sing the praises of them. Hope to be back next year. I hope DWP tries to branch out a little more for their headliners, kind of like a download situation. That would be nice. And that's not me saying, oh, download, like DWP doesn't know what they're doing. They obviously do. You know, they're making their money.
Looking forward to it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's just like, it would be nice to see some variety for some other stuff. I hope bands continue to keep getting festival spots too, because that's big money making for them.
Yeah.
You know?
We did have something happen that might be, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there. We did have something come out that might be helpful coming into 2025 is there's this new ruling that they said you have to be absolutely transparent with your ticket pricing.
Yes.
They're not going to lower ticket prices, which sucks, but the transparency might help a little bit because then people are knowing what they're getting into ahead of time instead of trying to buy, like a $50 ticket and then, out the door it's $100 a ticket.
Right. And it's going to be even harder to see when you look at your ticket receipt. It says $40 Live Nation CEO salary buffer.
Yeah.
It's just going to that. So we now end. I just want to end this little Live Nation spiel for something that I've brought up several times, but I want to see if these two remember. Do you remember how much the Live Nation CEO's annual salary is?
$4 million.
$4 million from Alex, $5 million for Owen. Smart guesses, respectable guesses. Both of you are not even close to the point that it would even market a response. This made it even says from many articles, like from CNN Business. From CNN Business to the Hollywood Reporter, saying he's the most overpaid CEO in a list of overpaid CEOs. Boy, is that an article. You ready? 139 million a year.
Ugh.
Why even work? You do 1 year. Your great grandchildren are set for life.
1 year, you do 6 months. So
I blocked that one out for a reason too. That's disgusting.
So when you all go into work on Thursday, remember this guy's not going into work, and he's just sitting back, taking a chunk out of those Live Nation tickets that you're paying extra for.
If I had $139 million, I would take my friends and we would all buy Lambos and then blow them up in a field or something like that, just because we could afford to.
And this is something I think we talked about last time I brought this up. Say he cut off $39 million of his own salary just to get even $100 million a year. Just make that sacrifice and just distribute it equally to every single Live Nation employee, all the way down to concessions at every venue.
Dude, I was reading about this CEO that did that. I don't remember what the company was or anything, but he made like millions of dollars. And he was like, you know what? I don't need this.
Yeah.
Let's divvy it across all of my employees.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that does happen. The Costco CEO does tons of stuff like that for people. Nintendo CEO, the first year, like back years ago when Wii U came out, it was the first console to have a loss. He said, no, I'll take a cut of my own salary so we don't have to fire anyone after this. So it does happen.
That's the CEO you want to follow.
Yeah, not every CEO is pure evil. However, when you're making $139 million a year and the entire world knows how greedy the industry is and you're doing nothing to change it, kind of a hard look, you know? Also on that list, Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers CEOs among most overpaid. Jeez, I don't want to look at the rest of the article. I'll get more upset even if I look at that. So
the most overpaid CEO. That is just like, when you think about things, that is just like that is an accomplishment.
I know.
Really.
Yeah, you really have to look for that. So
yeah.
So when I say this, I mean it. Thank you for all the super chats. We need them because we will never even see 1 year. Like just 1 year's worth of salary of that man in our entire lives together. $139 million. So
Again, with that money, why even work any more than 1 year?
Yeah. So I do want to, before we get to the festivals, let's find one positive thing we can talk about in 2024. Whatever it is. And if the chat has any suggestions, go for it too. A lot of good festivals, tons of comebacks. Slayer came back out of retirement just to play. They promised no new music. They performed 2 of 3 shows. One of them got rained out. Slayer sounded awesome. That was fun. We have a lot of good stuff to look forward to in 2025. Tons of bands have promised material. Tons of tours are coming. Tons of festivals are going to keep happening. We have reason to finally say, hey, rock, alternative, metal, especially even on the metal side, feels optimistic. It feels like things are blossoming again. Things are actually happening. It's been a while since I felt this way in general about the music, you know?
Yeah, it feels like just as a genre as a whole,
yes,
metal has really just been at the forefront for a lot of like
it's like
events.
It's not seen as completely to the side. It's actually being pointed out and respected. Gojira had a big part to do with that.
I don't think we're like all the way back in like the time, like maybe like the late 90s or during like the 80s when metal was kind of like the dominant genre.
Sure.
But we're kind of like, we're close to that, or not close to that, but we're like, it's reminiscent.
We're improving significantly over the past 5. This past year made more progress than the last several years before it put together.
I mean, even my mom knew a few Spirit Box songs.
Ah.
Yeah.
Good job, Mom. My mother does not know Spirit Box, so there you go.
That's thanks to me, and I had to be kind of selective with which ones I chose. I'm not going to play Cellar Door for my mom, because she'll be terrified.
Okay,
yeah.
One more to point out before we start going to our own festivals. Maryland Death Fest, which is always for years, and Milwaukee Metal Festival, which I keep hearing about. I know the publicist for it. They keep announcing bands. I've been to that venue. From what I keep hearing, that is like a 2 or 3 day festival in an actual venue with like different halls and stuff, and inside in Milwaukee. That is just becomes a fun show, like a fun list of bands all 3 days. It's just like literally like a sauna because it's jam-packed with too many guys sweating on top of each other in the pits in a stanky Milwaukee building for 3 days.
Way to sell it.
That sounds fun.
There's like I shot Stone Sour there, and it was great. And even I was like, it's a nice venue. So let me phrase it this way. Sorry, I had to cough. So I went in February. It's in a rough part of Milwaukee, but when you go inside, oh, this is really nice. It's big, it's spacious. However, they jam-pack a 3-day metal festival in this place. So, it's fun. The tickets are not overpriced. Good lineup. The lineup's already out. It's just you need to go in prepared. Also, my final note, and if anyone else has any advice, it's 2025. And the economy and inflation has not hit deodorant as badly that you can't buy it. It sucks to say, but if you've been to a festival or a concert this past year, you still know this is an issue.
there needs to be like a festival or some sort of like concert where it's like deodorant is required or something like that. They'll even like hand out sticks of Old Spice.
Yeah,
I was gonna people at the metal detectors.
Oh man, like they have like the high school kids at their first job, like the deodorant sniffer. Like, all right, arms up, let's see if you got it.
Dude, they need to just have deodorant vendors at these festivals. Why have I not seen one there?
Yeah, like if like Degree like has like a little booth. Like you could sell them for like $1 extra that you would buy at Target or something. Make a killing. Yeah. But then again, yeah.
Bro, Liquid Death did like the metal diaper or whatever the hell. Why don't they do deodorant? Why isn't there like a metal deodorant collab going on?
You know why we're hoping too much though? Oh, go ahead, Alex. You go ahead.
No, I want to know what you were going to say. I was going to say, let's debut rocked deodorant. We'll make a killing at these festivals.
What's the scent? What's the flavor?
Flavor?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
mint. I don't know, something flavored. Mint. Minty pits. I don't care what it is, just not that.
I'm looking for a sweet peppermint scent for my underarm.
We should make the title. Tingle. We should make the titles like metal songs or something like that.
Is that butterscotch? Like what? Yeah. So
it's like
my argument is though the people that need deodorant most are the ones that aren't aware they need deodorant. So why would they buy them? Though if you had the booth, I could go buy a stick and go, "Hey, you need this." Hand it to them. Yeah, there you go. Problem solved, and you're helping someone big time to let them know. You don't have to make,
like the shirt.
You don't have to make
shirtless, sweaty guys in the mosh pit. You just hand them deodorant.
Yes, right. And like if they're in the mosh pit, you just like do like a little sniper thing. It's like rip and like skid it under their arm while they're moving.
Oh no, there's deodorant spray. You just have like a guy with like a deodorant gun just spraying.
One guy pulls out his lighter, that becomes a flamethrower instantly.
Terrible idea.
Yeah,
no.
I like my idea.
That would be very metal, though.
That would be. This would be like one of those I'm helping you out situations. Like, oh look, gum. You want one too? Please
yeah.
For deodorant.
Yes. So I don't know. I like my idea of like there's like one pit sniper and he has like two deodorants in each hand. He's like on his knees crawling around, like going like and like reaching up to the armpits of people.
No, you got a guy with like two spray cans, and he's flipping around like Neo or something. That's like,
No, we're gonna have belts. We're gonna have belts with multiple deodorants, just and you just whap when you're in the pit.
Ammunition. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you need this, dude.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster deodorant costs $75 with $15.
Oh, Machine Gun Philly. That's unfortunately. Would you buy Ticketmaster branded deodorants? I don't know if I could support that. Nope. And it's like, go ahead.
You want metalheads to like wear deodorant. You get the bands, you do collaborations with bands, and you make like flavors or scents or whatever to the bands. Like Sleep Token's on stage. Here's our new deodorant, Sugar. You wear this, please.
I'm gonna read it because it is really well done. Machine Gun Philly said, Ticketmaster deodorant costs $75 with $15 application fee. So you can't even apply it onto your armpit without paying an extra $15. Yeah, so.
$15 application fee. I expect it's just like a guy. It's like the high school intern, which is like he's just there with the can.
And he does it wrong. He just puts it on your shoulder or on your chest and just walks away. It's like, what?
He just like missed it, so he just gets like your ribs or something. Like
the air. Yeah, just nothing. We're going into overtime, but that was kind of expected for this podcast. So. Let's get to this. And let's get to this now. We now need to go and build several festivals to the point where I need to make sure I have them all. We're going to do them more quickly. However, Alex and Rowan, anything we need to do before we start building these festivals?
Build some fests.
Let's do it.
All right.
Last one of the year.
Here we go. First of all, we definitely hit our goal. Thank you so much for keep hitting the like button. But thank you so much for hitting our goal for likes. Every week, we build a random festival out of many bands in a folder, and we'll see if people actually want to go to this or not. So, first up, we have a festival, which is just our standard, our 2024 Fest. That's what this is going to be. To kick off the end of 2024, New Year's Eve. No more Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. No. This is how we end rock. This is how we end the year. Everyone ready?
That's just like the worst lineup ever.
I'm really building this big just so I can fall flat on my face with it, but here we go. So everyone knows I don't cheat. That is watching this live. I actually do this properly, so you know I'm doing the right folders and stuff. Whew. Okay, number 1. Whoop. Mötley Crüe, and we didn't even talk about Mötley Crüe and how they were part of the worst of the year with arguably the worst EP that came out with Cancelled. Any thoughts on Cancelled before we go to our next band?
Didn't even listen to it. I knew I was going to hate it, so why hate listen?
I get it. I totally get it. I cannot sell enough how just awkward it is. It really is the 60-year-olds at a Buffalo Wild Wings trying to be cool and singing Fight for Your Right and all these songs about getting canceled and you can't cancel us. That's what that EP is. That's literally what Mötley Crüe did in 2024.
That's at the bottom.
Defend this to my dying breath. Mötley Crüe needs to retire. It's not fun anymore. It's just sad seeing them live and seeing them do all this.
Someone just called it boomercore.
If boomercore becomes a thing, I am walking into the ocean.
That's shade to Rockin' New Year's Eve. It wasn't shade. Well, now I'm looking at Rockin' New Year's Eve going, oh, this didn't sound too bad now compared to what was going on over here.
Core. Oh my god.
Yes. Well, the photo of that everyone's seeing right now of Vince Neil, it looks like he's in a bathrobe and he just walked out like he didn't put himself together. So, all right. First up for 2024 Fest, Mötley Crüe. Number 2, I Prevail.
Okay.
I like them fine. It doesn't match though, but okay. Number 3. The Pretty Reckless. Boy, are they gonna outperform Mötley Crüe.
Dude, if Mötley Crüe insists on headlining, at least we can leave early. We're doing okay.
Oh yes, we are. We're leaving right after the 4th band. Number 4.
I love the picture you used of Vince Neil, by the way. It's like the most disheveled picture of him.
I know, and like that's how he performed. That's how he came out for the first 2 songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, number 4, Sax Squatch. That's fun. Okay. A saxophone player like does really good stuff of covers with a saxophone and EDM. That's fun. This would have been pretty good, right? This would have been okay. And number 5, Buck Cherry. Well, you know,
we're 3 for 5. So
I guess everyone in the chat. Everyone in the chat. Would you go to 2024 Fest? I don't know if I would, and I'm the one that's putting it together.
I like I Prevail. I don't think it would save it though. I don't think I could put up with like Mötley Crüe and Buck Cherry for I Prevail and Sax Squatch.
And you know they're gonna have like Vince Neil come out and do like some of the Buck Cherry songs together and just make it super cringe. You know.
It's on a school night, so it's fine. We'll just go see the first 3 bands and then go home, go to bed early, and get up. It's fine.
Yes. Would Buck Cherry
beat traffic?
Would Buck Cherry play before the Pretty Reckless? I would hope so.
No. We're gonna just let
open
this one.
We're scheduling
so
them
we can leave early.
Yeah. Okay.
We're making that call.
All right. So I'm seeing no's across the board. However, I can't really argue. And I do feel bad for the Pretty Reckless Sasquatch and I Prevail. However, I understand it. So, 2024 Fest goes out with a whimper.
It's been a really long time since we had like a festival that we said no to.
It is.
Like,
it earned it. They earned it for sure.
Yeah. Wow, great way to end the year. Thank you, AI.
Oh, but don't worry. We have some other festivals to book. First up, we're going to go for Paul Fest. Paul did several super chats equaling up to like for the 5. So Paul, you get your own festival. The last super chat he did, we are building the Wonderwall back up. I don't know what that means, but you know what? This is Paul Fest. Number 1 for Paul Fest, Primus. Hey, there you go. That's a fun one. Right? Number 2, Panic at the Disco. This is already weird. Number 3, Avenged Sevenfold. Sir, you are getting the weirdestly booked festival we've had in a while.
It's at least entertaining.
Yes, it is. Like, no, it's still worth going to by a long shot. Number 4, Limp Bizkit. Man,
I'm still down for it. You know what? I'm man enough to admit I like some Limp Bizkit.
if I'm correct, Avenged and Limp Bizkit went on tour not too long ago either. So, number 5, 100 Gex. Boy, did this...
know 'em.
Okay, I don't even know. Man, hyper pop alternative. It's a mishmash of stuff. It's a lot. I don't know how else to describe it. However, I'm going to say this. I would go because there are good bands, and the people watching and crowd would be phenomenal. Alex, Rowan, would you go?
Oh yeah, same.
It's
This is a
weird,
good one.
but I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, yes, it is weird. Paul Fest is unique, absolutely. Avenged headlines, I think that's fair. You know, and I see more yeses than nos.
Like the only thing is that like there's one band I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. That's not a killer for me.
Yeah, that should never be a killer for any festival or concert either. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep, I think I got a yes. I've seen yeses across the board. So you know what? Good job. Paul Fest works. Festival number 3. This is day 3 of our massive 4-day festival, whatever it is. Machine Gun Philly Fest. We're just going to say this Machine Gun Fest because that sounds fun. And not an NRA event, I promise. Machine Gun Fest, band number 1. Pennywise. Going back to old punk. Very nice. Number 2. Fever 333. Wow, this is a politically charged one. Pennywise and Fever 333. Okay. Number 3. Papa Roach.
All right.
Not bad. Number 4. Static X. And number 5. Poison. Bret Michaels. I don't know. I can't say this wouldn't be a blast. I'm going to Machine Gun Fest. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know who headlines. I don't know the crowd clientele to see all those middle-aged women swooning for Bret Michaels, watching Static X also. However, I'm here for it.
No, yeah,
it'll be fun.
all the middle-aged women, they see like Static X and they see like the robot Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's another thing I'm looking for. That's another thing I'm looking forward to next year. Static X and Guar. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
They're playing near me. I'm definitely going to that as well.
That's a fun one. Alex, would you go to
Static X.
Machine Gun Fest for Static X alone? Probably.
I would go. It looks pretty good.
It's a fun show. I see a lot of yeses more than nos. Most people are saying I'd leave before Poison if they're the headliners. Is it Poison or just no? That's Poison. Yeah. Static X Poison crossover. Make it happen. What song would that be? What?
Would it be like a new metal remix of Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
I was thinking the same thing. Like push it with Every Rose Has Its Thorn. There you go. And finally, I think we got at least one more. We're going to Old World Fest from Old World Patriots. Thank you so much. I think that's the last of ours. Old World Fest. And thank you, Ellie Yeet, for the donations as well. Ellie Yeet dropped in some super chats before he could make the festival, or he could make the podcast, but thank you. So now we have Old World Fest, the final day 4 of our 4-day festival. Last one of 2024 we're booking, everybody. Band number 1. We're not just had Buck Cherry, you got saved, Old World Fest. You got saved big time. Band number 1. Gojira. You know what? That was a band for 2024, so... Number 2. Go ahead.
I was going to say, is there any way we could play the Moist Critical Woo meme?
If I only had it. Number 2, Dragon Force. They're so fun live. They're a blast. Number 3, Thrice. They sound great live. So we're going well so far. Number 4, Pixel Grip. Do you guys remember what I described Pixel Grip as?
Yes. Yeah. And then I listened to them and I was like, yeah, no, this is accurate.
Yep. Pixel Grip. And
I want to see your stamina.
Yes, that is correct. And number 5, Churches. Boy, is that a difference.
I'd go into this one. This one's going to be awesome.
Gojira, Churches, all this. How could you not go to Old World Fest? This is the perfect closing for all of this nonsense. These were perfectly random festival days, by the way. There was truly no theme whatsoever.
I like it.
I see some yeses. I'm seeing everyone just excited for Gojira and Dragon Force. Alex and
Yeah.
Rowan, is this a yes?
This is definitely yes for me.
Yeah. So we did have 2024 Fest Day 1 be an absolute disaster. However, 3 solid days of a 4-day festival, I'm saying that's fine. I'm talking myself into that being a success.
Yep, I agree.
It's important to trick yourself into believing you'd accomplish something, and that's what we accomplished. 3 out of 4 random days that actually worked. Good job, everyone. So,
Hey, statistically speaking, we had a winner.
yeah, absolutely. And people said they're showing up, so here we go. Thank you so much for joining us for what is the last podcast of December and of 2024. Thank you so much for listening to us as we figure out a new podcast format. Next year, we will always continue to improve. There will always be stories to talk about. There will always be nonsense and shenanigans that keep appearing in the world of rock, metal, and alternative. We hope that you keep coming to us, and all we ask is for you to keep sharing the word. That helps out immensely. If every single person listening to this podcast, whether live or on the backlog or in a podcast forum, told one friend about it, our audience doubles instantly. So, if you've listened to this point, please tell at least one friend, and that will help us so much. Alex, do you have anything you would like to add before we go to Alex's words of wisdom?
No.
Okay. Rowan, how about you?
I just want to say this has just been an amazing opportunity. This has just been like so much fun. I'm gonna get blackout drunk after this call, by the way, and I hope you are all doing the same thing and happy New Year's.
YouTube, he said blackout drunk on Kool-Aid and Capri Sun. YouTube, that was just juice. Do not demonetize this. And Liquid Death, yes.
Wait, that's oh my god. If you can genuinely get in trouble for that, I'm sorry.
No, you can't. You can't get in trouble for that. Also, Alex, hold up the Liquid Death can again, please. Also, second piece, if you've also heard up to this point, please tag Liquid Death and tag this podcast as well. We really would like to work together with Liquid Death, and any help you can give us helps greatly. Just tag them on social media. That's all you got to do. So
They'll send
Jeez,
us.
I drink
They'll
so
send
many.
us They'll send us Liquid Death cans and pit diapers.
like you wouldn't be interested in getting all that free Liquid Death alone. I don't know about the pit diaper, but honestly, go ahead, Alex, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can send me all the free Liquid Death, send Rowan to diapers, and we'll be set. It's fine.
What do I get? What's in it for me?
What do I?
I don't know. You didn't ask for anything.
I just want one, so I can have it presented somewhere. I can just be like, this is an actual thing.
Okay, you take it to
Right, okay, so
you take it to Michael's and have it framed to like a nice box shadow glass and like put it on put it on the table.
I say crap to like the worker at Michael's. I don't give him any context.
Mm-hmm.
Luke would like the regular original flavors and sparkling. I'll have the fancy weird flavors, and Rowan wants the diapers, and we're set.
Once, clearly that's what he said. Once the diapers.
God, shut up.
Thank you again. I'll be working hard to get the next video up on early access for Patreon and YouTube members. Thank you so much for all the super chats tonight. It has been a ton of fun reliving some of the best and worst of 2024 very quickly, but also very casually. Thank you guys again. Regularly scheduled podcasts will be coming to more of a format with news updates and everything else next week. Finally, Alex, do you have anything you would like to ask us or try to trick us with for the close of the podcast?
No, it's the end of the year. I'm tired. So, what do you call someone who isn't a dad that tells dad jokes?
You?
Other than that.
You? I don't know. That was actually pretty clever, Rowan. Not bad. No, I don't have anything. What is it?
A faux pas.
Oh, because it's a pa.
My dad said the same joke. Then he went to go get the milk.
Yeah. Oh, that got dark.
This joke has been brought to you by Mac and Cheese. Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Kraft
thank you,
mac and
Kraft mac and cheese. Yes, Hey, we're not picky about the brand of mac and cheese. Whatever brand wants to sponsor the segment, you go for it. Thank you so much. We will see you again next year, which is in only a few hours from when we're recording this. See you next week. Please tell one friend. Let's see if we can actually get this growing. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Don't be a faux pas.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Have a great one, guys.